There comes a time when the universe begins to rearrange itself on your behalf. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but deep within you can feel it. Something has changed. The air feels different. The energy feels alive. The tides of your reality are turning, and everything that once seemed stuck is beginning to move again. You are standing on the edge of transformation. The invisible is becoming visible. The thoughts you have held, the visions you have nourished, the prayers you whispered when no one was listening, they have been heard. And now, everything is about to shift in your favor. But the question is, are you ready? Readiness is not about doing more, it's about being more. It's about embodying the energy of what you have asked for before it appears. You cannot meet your new reality with the same old state of mind. You must rise in consciousness before life rises to meet you. Every change begins within. The outer world only echoes what you have accepted within yourself. When you shift your awareness from lack to fulfillment, from waiting to receiving, reality must obey. This is not chance, it is law. There is a silent moment before manifestation, a sacred pause where faith is tested. Many give up there, mistaking silence for absence. But silence is not absence, it is preparation. The seed germinates in stillness before it breaks through the soil. So does every answered prayer. You may not see it yet, but the energy has already moved. Doors that were once closed are about to open. Paths that were hidden are about to reveal themselves. People who carry your blessings are being guided toward you right now. The shift is not coming, it has already begun. Be ready by believing, be ready by knowing, be ready by refusing to doubt the unseen, because what is yours is already established, not in time, but in consciousness. And once your awareness aligns with that truth, time will bend to deliver it into your hands. Do not let fear interrupt what faith has already completed. Do not let the illusion of delay convince you that nothing is happening. The universe is meticulous. It never forgets what you've imagined with feeling. So stand tall, stand certain, stand still, in knowing that everything is unfolding for your highest good. The shift is real and it is working in your favor. Life is not against you, it's rearranging itself for you. Be ready now, because the blessing is closer than it appears. There is a divine orchestration happening beyond what the eyes can see. While your outer circumstances may appear still, lifeless, or even resistant, there is a silent movement occurring beneath the surface, a rearranging of invisible threads that are weaving your desires into reality. The invisible world is not a void. It is alive with creative intelligence, responding to every vibration you emit, every belief you hold, every feeling you sustain. The universe does not operate through chaos. It operates through perfect law. And that law is constantly matching your inner state with outer experiences. When you hold a vibration of faith, gratitude, and expectation, the unseen forces of life begin to respond with precision. The right people start to think of you. Opportunities begin to align in perfect timing. Circumstances that once seemed random now reveal themselves as purposeful steps leading you forward. You are never being ignored. You are being prepared. Even in moments where nothing seems to move, everything is actually shifting behind the scenes to bring you what you've already claimed in consciousness. But this invisible rearrangement cannot be forced. It is not about doing more, it is about allowing more. When you trust the unseen, you step out of fear and into flow. You stop chasing and start magnetizing. The universe mirrors your inner frequency, not your effort or struggle. This is why two people can do the same thing. One struggles endlessly, while the other moves with grace, because one is aligned internally and the other is not. Your alignment is the invitation for the invisible to reveal itself as visible. The moment you change how you feel about your life, life begins to change to reflect that feeling. The shift happens first within. Every new reality starts as an inner conviction, a quiet knowing that what you have asked for is already on its way. When you maintain that knowing despite appearances, the invisible begins to rearrange matter, people, and timing to fulfill your belief. This is why patience is not passive, it is powerful. True patience is unwavering confidence in unseen activity. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. To the eye, nothing seems to be happening, yet beneath the surface, the soil is alive with movement, roots forming, life expanding, structure building. If you were to dig it up too soon, you would interrupt the process. The same is true for your manifestations. The invisible world is nurturing your desires, aligning conditions, and growing your vision. The delay is never denial. It is divine timing orchestrating perfection. So when you feel nothing is working, remember everything is working. When you see no evidence, remember evidence is forming. When you feel forgotten, remember the universe never forgets. An intention that was felt deeply and believed completely. Hold your vibration steady. Continue to imagine the outcome as already fulfilled. Trust that the unseen is your ally, not your enemy. For the invisible is not indifferent, it is intentional. It is rearranging itself right now in your favor. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of the inner world you inhabit. Every experience, every encounter, every circumstance is a mirror showing you the vibration you most consistently hold within. Life does not happen to you, it happens through you. The world you see is a projection of your inner state, shaped by your assumptions, beliefs, and emotions. When your inner state is one of peace, confidence, and worthiness, your external reality naturally begins to organize itself in harmony with that energy. But when your inner state is filled with doubt, fear, or lack, life mirrors that back with obstacles, delays, and uncertainty. This is not punishment, it is precision. The universe simply echoes the frequency you broadcast. If you want the reflection to change, you must first adjust the image you project. Most people spend their lives trying to fix the mirror, not realizing that the source of their reflection lies within. You cannot fight circumstances into submission, but you can transform them by shifting your inner perception. The moment you change how you see yourself, everything that surrounds you begins to rearrange to match your new identity. When you hold an image of yourself as powerful, loved, capable, and abundant, life rises to confirm it. New opportunities appear, people treat you differently, doors open that were once locked. It is not that the world suddenly becomes kinder, it's that your new state of being calls forth a new version of the world. Everything around you bends to the vibration you sustain. This is the secret of transformation. The outer follows the inner. If you see yourself as lacking, the world reflects lack. If you see yourself as blessed, the world confirms that blessing. This truth is simple yet profound. Nothing can appear in your experience that you have not first accepted within. Your inner conversation, the thoughts you silently repeat about who you are, form the foundation of your reality. Change those inner words, and your outer life must obey. This is why awareness is everything. Before reacting to a situation, pause and ask yourself, what state of being am I occupying right now? The situation is not asking for more action. It is asking for a higher state. When you elevate your state, when you move from fear to faith, from doubt to certainty, from desperation to calm knowing, the very energy of life rearranges itself to match that vibration. People are drawn to your peace. Solutions appear effortlessly. What once felt heavy becomes light. Light. The truth is that you are never waiting for life to change. Life is waiting for you to change your inner stance. The mirror cannot show you a new image until you become it. Every great shift begins not in effort, but in awareness. You are the center of creation, the projector through which reality is expressed. When you command your inner world through faith, vision, and calm conviction, the outer world has no choice but to yield. Reality is obedient to your state. Always. Readiness is the invisible signal that tells the universe you are serious about receiving. It is not about waiting for evidence, but about living from the end, feeling, thinking, and acting as if what you desire is already yours. The universe does not deliver blessings to those who are still doubting their worthiness or questioning their power. It delivers to those who are already standing in the vibration of having it. When you are ready in consciousness, creation must respond. Because readiness is magnetic, it draws to you the experiences that match your inner assumption. Most people delay their own manifestations by waiting for signs before they believe. They say, I'll feel grateful when it happens, or I'll believe when I see proof. But that mindset keeps the blessing suspended because the vibration of waiting is the vibration of lack. You are declaring, without realizing it, that you do not yet have what you seek. And the universe mirrors that declaration faithfully. The truth is the opposite. You must first believe before you see. You must first become before you receive. To be ready is to live mentally and emotionally in the reality of your wish fulfilled. It is to walk, talk, and think from the version of yourself who already possesses the thing you've asked for. When you do this sincerely, not as a performance, but as an inner knowing, life begins to reorganize itself to meet you there. Opportunities align, timing synchronizes, and everything that once seemed distant begins to move closer. Readiness activates movement. It opens the invisible pathways that carry your desire from thought to manifestation. Ask yourself, if what I wanted were already mine, how would I think? How would I speak? How would I carry myself? Then begin to live from that awareness. Do not wait for the external world to justify your belief. The justification is already within you. The universe reads energy, not words. It does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your state. When your inner world vibrates with fulfillment, when you hold the energy of completion rather than longing, your manifestation becomes inevitable. Being ready also means letting go of the old version of you, the one who needed proof, the one who feared disappointment, the one who believed they had to earn what was already theirs by divine right. You cannot step into the new while clinging to the old identity. The shift happens the moment you assume the feeling of the fulfilled desire. That assumption is not pretense, it is creation in motion. So stop waiting and start embodying. Begin living now as if your desire has already arrived. Dress for it, prepare for it, speak to yourself from that state. Let every action, every thought, every emotion declare, I am ready. The universe moves swiftly for the one who is prepared. Life cannot resist readiness because readiness is faith made visible. When you are ready before it arrives, it no longer needs to arrive. It is already here. Faith is the unseen bridge that connects the invisible with the visible, the desire with its fulfillment, the prayer with its answer. It is not born from external proof, but from an inner conviction that what you have imagined already exists in a higher realm of reality, waiting only for your acceptance. Faith is the quiet certainty that refuses to be shaken by appearances. It is the still voice within that whispers, it is done, even when nothing around you seems to confirm it. Many confuse faith with hope, but they are not the same. Hope looks forward to a future possibility. Faith stands firmly in a present knowing. Hope says, I wish it will happen. Faith declares it already has. The moment you move from hoping to knowing, the bridge is formed. You cross from the realm of desire into the realm of realization. Faith does not beg or plead. It calmly assumes that the invisible is working perfectly on your behalf. True faith begins when logic ends. It thrives in uncertainty because it understands that the unseen is more powerful than the seen. It is the surrender of control, not to weakness, but to wisdom. When you live by faith, you stop asking, when will it happen, and start affirming, it is happening now. You no longer chase signs, you become the sign. You embody the energy of completion before any evidence arrives. And because consciousness precedes creation, life must eventually mirror that inner knowing. Faith is not passive. It is the most active force in creation. It shapes your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, and your expectations. It makes you walk differently, speak differently, and think differently. When you have faith, you no longer vibrate in the energy of waiting, you vibrate in the energy of having. You live from the end, and that state magnetizes everything required for its expression. Every person, opportunity, and event begins to align to fulfill your conviction. There will be moments when doubt whispers, when appearances seem to contradict your belief. That is where faith proves its strength. It stands still while the storm rages. It does not react, it remains rooted in knowing. Faith is not built when everything looks easy. It is built when everything looks impossible, yet you choose to believe anyway. That unwavering certainty is what bends reality. When you truly believe, your heart becomes peaceful. The struggle ends because you know creation is complete. You no longer question if it will happen. You rest in the awareness that it already has. And that time is simply catching up to your consciousness. That is the sacred mystery. The unseen becomes seen when faith has done its work. Faith is not a bridge you build once. It is one you walk daily. Each thought of trust strengthens it, and every doubt weakens it. The more you affirm your unseen truth, the more solid that bridge becomes. And one day, without force or effort, you find yourself standing on the other side in the reality you once only imagined, realizing it was faith that carried you there all along. Delay is never a sign of denial. It is a divine pause designed to prepare you for what you've asked for. The universe never withholds what is meant for you. It simply aligns it perfectly with the moment you are truly ready to receive. What feels like waiting is often the unseen work of transformation, both within and around you. While you're focused on timing, life is focused on alignment. The delay is not punishment, it is protection. It ensures that when your manifestation arrives, you have the strength, wisdom, and clarity to hold it. Every pause has purpose. It refines your faith, stretches your patience, and reveals whether your desire is rooted in truth or desperation. The waiting season is not empty, it's sacred ground where your consciousness evolves. It is where belief matures from hope into knowing. Without delay, there would be no depth, no grounding, no wisdom to sustain the blessing. What you call delay, the universe calls development. The dream is being polished in the unseen before it becomes visible. During these quiet seasons, you are not being ignored, you are being instructed. Life is teaching you how to align your vibration with what you've imagined. Every challenge you face, every unanswered prayer, every seeming setback is sculpting your character into the perfect container for your desire. If the manifestation arrived too soon, it would slip through your fingers, because your inner world would not yet be able to sustain it. The delay ensures that your inner foundation is strong enough to carry the weight of what's coming. The waiting refines you. It burns away doubt and replaces it with confidence. It removes dependency on external validation and anchors you in inner knowing. It teaches you to trust the process without needing to see results. The delay is where you learn that manifestation is not about rushing, it's about readiness. When you finally realize that nothing is truly missing, that you are complete even before the desire appears, the universe responds immediately. For you have finally become the version of yourself who is equal to the vision you hold. Sometimes what looks like nothing is happening is actually everything happening. Energy is being rearranged, people are being positioned, opportunities are being prepared. You can't see the orchestration, but it's happening in perfect sequence. What feels like stillness is simply synchronization. The universe is never late, it is exact. So when the waiting feels long, shift your focus from frustration to faith. Instead of asking, why hasn't it happened yet? Ask, what is this season shaping within me? Because the truth is, the delay was never working against you, it was working for you. It was aligning timing, building strength, and expanding your capacity to receive. And when the manifestation finally arrives, you will look back and understand the delay was not a detour, it was the bridge. Everything you learned in waiting was the preparation that made the blessing possible. What once felt like postponement was divine precision. The delay was never denial, it was destiny unfolding in perfect order. Anxiety is the energy of separation. Alignment is the energy of union. When you are anxious, you are living in the vibration of absence, believing what you desire is distant, uncertain, or beyond reach. But when you align, you step into the vibration of presence, the quiet knowing that what you've asked for already exists and is already yours in the unseen. The shift from anxiety to alignment is the moment you stop chasing and start allowing. It is the instant you realize that creation doesn't happen through effort. It happens through resonance. Your only real task in this life is alignment, to bring your inner state into harmony with the outcome you desire. You don't have to figure out the details, force the timing, or control how it unfolds. You only need to occupy the state of being that matches what you wish to experience. Feel now what you imagine you'll feel then, and the universe will bridge the gap between the two. That is the secret of effortless manifestation. Anxiety says, it's not here yet. Alignment says, it's already done. Anxiety doubts the process. Alignment trusts it. Anxiety looks for signs. Alignment becomes the sign. Every time you choose faith over fear, calm over worry, gratitude over impatience, you step closer to your desire. Not because the outer world suddenly shifts, but because you shift and the outer world mirrors you. Alignment is not pretending or forcing positivity. It's about finding peace in knowing that life is always responding to your inner energy. It's realizing that when you feel whole, complete, and fulfilled, you naturally attract experiences that reflect that state. What you are seeking is already seeking you, but it can only find you when your vibration matches its frequency. That match is made not through striving, but through surrender, through the gentle release of control and the confident embrace of trust. The shift happens quietly. It's not dramatic or loud. One day you simply stop worrying and everything begins to flow. Doors open effortlessly. Conversations happen by chance. Opportunities appear without struggle. This is not coincidence, it's alignment doing its work. When you stop resisting, you create space for the universe to move. The energy that was once tangled in fear becomes available for creation. The truth is that anxiety blocks what alignment allows. When you are anxious, you are sending mixed signals, asking for abundance while vibrating lack, asking for love while vibrating fear. But when you are aligned, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs speak one language. It is already mine. That unified signal commands the universe to respond immediately, to step out of anxiety and into alignment, breathe, release, and trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Feel the fulfillment before it arrives. Walk with the confidence of completion. The moment your inner world becomes a match to your desire, the shift is complete, quietly, instantly, and irrevocably. Everything in your life is moving toward alignment, even when it feels uncertain. The invisible is working in your favor, shaping events, people, and opportunities to mirror your new state of being. You are not waiting for a miracle, you are becoming the miracle through your consciousness. The shift is not ahead of you, it is within you. Every change in thought, every moment of faith, every feeling of gratitude moves you closer to the reality you've already claimed. You are not being tested, you are being transformed. The waiting, the stillness, the silence, they were never punishments, but invitations to rise higher in awareness. Everything that once seemed delayed was only preparing you for what is already yours by divine design. Now, as you stand on the edge of manifestation, let go of worry and embrace readiness. Trust that life knows exactly what it's doing. So take a deep breath and stand firm in knowing everything is about to shift in your favor. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Your faith has already opened the way, and the unseen has already begun to take form. All that's left is for you to believe it, feel it, and receive it. Thank you for listening. And remember, the power is not out there. It has always been within you. Everything you seek is already seeking you. Be still. Be ready. and watch the universe move in your favor. There comes a moment in your journey when everything that once felt scattered, uncertain, or incomplete begins to take its rightful place. A moment when you can feel something shifting, not on the outside, but within you. And that inner shift is the first undeniable sign that things are coming together, that the season of waiting is closing, and the season of receiving is opening. You may not see the full picture yet, but the arrangement is already happening. The right people, opportunities, doors, ideas, and pathways have already been touched by the unseen currents that respond to your inner state. Life has been quietly organizing itself around the assumptions you have held. Every belief you repeated, every mental picture you revisited, every feeling you nurtured within yourself has been forming the blueprint of what now begins to manifest. Things are coming together, not because you fought harder or struggled longer, but because you finally aligned. You finally allowed the version of you who already has it to breathe, to exist, to take its rightful place in your consciousness. And the moment you did, the outer world received its instructions. You must understand, nothing shows up randomly, nothing arrives out of place. The pieces you once thought were missing were never missing. They were preparing. They were developing in silence, waiting for the exact moment when your inner readiness matched their arrival. And that moment is now approaching. You are stepping into a phase where things that once felt difficult will suddenly become effortless. Roads that were blocked will open. Conversations will lead to breakthroughs. What you once prayed for will start showing up in ways that feel almost too precise to be coincidence. Because it isn't coincidence. It is the response to your inner work, your inner shift, your inner decision to live from the end instead of striving toward it. So get ready to receive. Get ready. Not by worrying about how or when, but by assuming that it is already yours. Prepare yourself like someone who knows the blessing is on the way. Prepare your mind, your emotions, your habits. Prepare the space in your life, because the arrival is guaranteed once the state has been claimed. Do not judge your life by what you see today. What you see is merely the harvest of yesterday's assumptions. Your new assumptions, your new inner alignment are already creating a new unfolding. Feel it. Accept it. Things are coming together faster than you think. Pieces you forgot about are returning. Ideas you left behind are resurfacing. People who can elevate your journey are being moved into place. Solutions you could not have imagined are forming right now. Stand in the knowing that what you have asked for, lived for, and prepared for is already finding its way to you. Your responsibility now is simple. Stay in the feeling of fulfillment. Stay in the assumption that it's done. Live as the version of you who has already received, because when you do, the outer world will have no choice but to rearrange itself to reflect that truth. Things are coming together beautifully, perfectly, powerfully. Get ready, because what you're about to receive is bigger than what you've been waiting for. Your inner assumptions are silently arranging the outer world to match them, shaping your experiences in ways you may not always recognize at first. The world you encounter is not a random sequence of events, nor is it governed solely by luck or external forces. Much of what you meet in your outer reality is the reflection of the quiet convictions you carry within. These assumptions, those deep, often unspoken beliefs about who you are, what you deserve, and what is possible for you, become the organizing blueprint for your life. When you assume something inwardly, even without speaking it aloud, you begin to live in alignment with it. Your tone changes, your expectations shift, your imagination forms different pictures, and your choices follow a new path. Without realizing it, you step into the role of the person who holds that assumption, and life responds accordingly. It is not magic or coincidence. It is the natural consequence of consciousness expressing itself through your experiences. If you assume lack, you will unconsciously notice every instance of it. You will interpret situations through the lens of not enough, and you will attract experiences that confirm that belief. It will feel as though the world is denying you, when in truth you have been denying yourself. Your assumption becomes the silent command that life must obey. But when you adopt a new inner assumption, one rooted in abundance, worthiness, or possibility, you begin to open doors that once seemed closed. Even before anything external changes, there is a shift in how you walk, how you see yourself, and how you engage with your environment. You begin to act like someone who knows success is natural, who expects love to find them, who trusts that opportunities are meant for them. These subtle inner movements create the conditions that allow new experiences to emerge. The outer world does not argue with your inner state, it mirrors it. Every time you persist in an assumption, not temporarily, but with steady conviction, you are giving the universe a blueprint to follow. The people you encounter, the timing of events, the way circumstances unfold, even the ideas that surface in your mind are influenced by that deep inner stance. This is why changing your outer life often begins with shifting your inner assumptions. If you wait for the world to change first, you will wait forever. But when you choose to embody the state of already having what you desire, the world rises to meet that state. Life rearranges itself around the version of you that you have chosen to embody. You cannot fake an assumption because the inner feeling always reveals the truth. But you can cultivate it, you can internalize it, you can persist in it until it becomes natural. And once it feels natural within you, the outside must reflect it. Everything begins inwardly. Every breakthrough starts with a shift in consciousness, and every desire becomes inevitable the moment you assume it is already yours. The moment you stabilize your inner knowing, the pieces begin to move in your favor, not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because you stop pushing against your own desire. When your inner knowing becomes steady, unwavering, and clear, you step into a new vibration of certainty. You no longer oscillate between hope and doubt, between belief and fear. Instead, you settle into a quiet confidence that what you desire is already yours in consciousness and therefore must take shape in your reality. This stabilized inner knowing is not loud or dramatic. It is not forced, nor is it dependent on physical evidence. It is a calm recognition, a state where you don't need to convince yourself anymore. You simply know. And that knowing becomes a powerful signal that reshapes the world around you. When your inner state becomes firm, your thoughts stop scattering, your imagination stops flipping between best case and worst case scenarios. Your emotional reactions soften, your decisions become aligned with the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Without even trying, you begin to embody the identity of someone who's secure in their outcome. You walk differently, speak differently, think differently, and these small internal shifts create ripples that influence how life unfolds. The reason things start to move in your favor when your inner knowing stabilizes is simple. Your consciousness becomes coherent. Before this point, your desire may have been split. Part of you believed, part of you doubted, part of you accepted the possibility, part of you feared disappointment. That inner division creates mixed signals, and life responds to those mixed signals accordingly. But when you unify your belief, when you align your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions into one clear direction, you create momentum. You tap into the creative power of a mind that is no longer fighting itself. This unity of consciousness is what allows circumstances to shift more quickly and more smoothly. Opportunities begin to appear not because they were missing before, but because you are now tuned to notice them. People who can support your progress show up because your energy invites them. Ideas come to you with clarity because your mind is no longer cluttered with doubt. Even delays transform into divine timing because you interpret them through a new lens, one that trusts the unfolding rather than questions it. This stabilized inner knowing becomes your anchor. It keeps you grounded even when your senses try to contradict you. It prevents you from being swayed by temporary appearances. You stop reacting to every fluctuation in your outer world, and instead you remain loyal to the state you have claimed within. And life must honor that state because your outer experience cannot remain unchanged when your inner conviction has shifted. The moment you stabilize your inner knowing, you step into alignment with the version of yourself who already possesses the fulfillment of your desire. And once that alignment is achieved, the world begins its rearrangement. People, events, timing, solutions, and breakthroughs all start moving toward you. Not by chance, but by inevitability. Your inner knowing is the foundation. Once it becomes steady, everything built upon it must reflect that certainty. This is why, when you finally settle into the truth of your desire without wavering, the pieces of your life begin aligning in a way that you can feel, see, and soon experience fully. What seems delayed is simply aligning in perfect order behind the scenes, working itself out with a precision that you may not recognize until the moment of fulfillment arrives. We are often conditioned to believe that waiting signifies lack, that silence means nothing is happening, or that delay is a sign of denial. But in reality, every desire has its own unfolding, and what you call a delay is often the very process that ensures everything arrives at the right time, in the right way, and in the right form. The universe is not withholding anything from you. Life is not ignoring your intention. Rather, the circumstances, people, ideas, and events needed to fulfill your desire are being prepared and positioned. This preparation can take time, not because the manifestation is difficult, but because alignment is essential. Alignment is the invisible work that ensures you receive not just what you ask for, but what will truly support your growth, your evolution, and your long-term joy. When something seems delayed, it is easy to fall into frustration or doubt. You may question your assumptions, your beliefs, or even your worthiness. But this is the exact moment when trust is most important. The unseen realm operates on order, not chaos. Everything that shows up in your life has a sequence, a path, and a timing that is designed to create the best possible outcome. You may not see the full picture yet, but the picture is being assembled piece by piece, Imagine a masterpiece painting being created behind a curtain. From your viewpoint, nothing seems to be happening. It looks like stillness. But behind the curtain, every stroke is being applied with intention. Every color is being chosen with care. The outcome is being sculpted with precision. When the curtain is finally lifted, you realize that what felt like inactivity was actually intricate preparation. The same applies to your life. When your desire feels delayed, remember that movement is happening in the unseen. Your state of consciousness is being matched with external circumstances. Resources are being gathered, people are being prompted, paths are being opened, ideas are being refined, you are being shaped internally so that when the desire arrives, you can sustain it and grow with it. Sometimes what appears as a delay is actually protection. If something came too early, it might overwhelm you. If it came in the wrong form, it might distract you from your true calling. If the wrong people were attached to it, it might hinder your progress. The delay ensures that everything aligns to support your highest outcome. When you understand this, you stop fighting the timing of your life. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop doubting the process. Instead, you begin to trust the unseen orchestration that is always working on your behalf. You recognize that the delay is not a punishment, it is preparation. And when the alignment is complete, what once felt late will arrive right on time. You will look back and see how every pause had purpose, how every moment of waiting was shaping you, and how the perfect order of events brought everything together in a way more beautiful than you could have imagined. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. What seems delayed is simply being aligned quietly, perfectly, and inevitably behind the scenes. Your preparation is a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. It is not merely about the actions you take, but the state of consciousness you embody while taking them. Preparation is a powerful declaration that you believe your desire is on its way. When you prepare, you are acting from the end, behaving as though the fulfillment is already part of your reality. This shift in behavior, mindset, and energy becomes a magnetic force that draws your desire closer. Preparation is not driven by fear or desperation. It is driven by certainty. When you prepare for something, you demonstrate that you expect its arrival. Think of how someone cleans their home when they know an honored guest is coming. They don't question whether the guest will show up. They prepare because they know. This certainty is what sends a clear signal to the universe. I am aligned with what I seek. I have made space for it. I'm ready. The universe responds not to your wishes, but to your state. Wishing is passive. Preparation is active. Wishing says, I hope this happens someday. Preparation says, it's happening and I'm making room for it now. This difference in inner position is profound. It moves you from longing to receiving, from hoping to knowing, from waiting to welcoming. When you prepare inwardly, you reorganize your assumptions. You begin to see yourself as the person who already has the blessing. You imagine differently. You think differently. You make decisions from the perspective of someone who has already stepped into the new reality. This inner preparation is the most important part because the outer world must follow the blueprint of your inner world. Once your identity shifts inwardly, your circumstances cannot remain the same. But preparation also shows up outwardly. If you are preparing for financial increase, for example, you might start learning how to manage larger sums of money or clearing out old patterns of spending. If you are preparing for love, you may begin healing emotional wounds, creating space in your life, or treating yourself with the respect you expect from a partner. If you are preparing for a new opportunity, you might update your skills, organize your environment, or align your time with your emerging vision. These outward steps are not what manifest the desire. They are reflections of an inner assumption that the desire is already yours. They reinforce your belief, deepen your alignment, and accelerate the manifestation. Preparation removes doubt. It dissolves hesitation. It solidifies your expectation. When you prepare, you claim the blessing before it arrives. You walk into the state of fulfillment. You embody readiness. The universe reads this readiness as a clear, unmistakable signal. It sees that you are no longer questioning, no longer wavering, no longer hoping from a distance. You are welcoming. You are receiving. You are aligned. And when you reach that level of inner preparation, the outer world must respond. Doors open, paths clear, opportunities appear, people show up. What you once thought was far away begins to move toward you with surprising speed and precision. Your preparation is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is your affirmation that the blessing is already yours. The moment you prepare, the universe says they are ready. And once readiness is achieved, receiving becomes inevitable. The unseen realm responds to your conviction, not your circumstances. Life does not move according to what you see with your physical eyes, but according to what you accept as true within yourself. This is why two people in the same situation can have entirely different outcomes. Because the invisible world is influenced not by appearances, but by belief. Circumstances are temporary, shifting, and often misleading. Conviction, however, is the deeper current that shapes the direction of your life. When you hold a strong inner conviction, you tap into a creative force that is far greater than the conditions surrounding you. Even if everything in your environment seems to contradict your desire, your conviction has the power to override those appearances. The unseen realm responds to the inner reality you choose to occupy. It hears the tone of your belief, the steadiness of your assumption, the consistency of your emotional state, and it mirrors that back to you. This is why it's possible to be surrounded by lack and still manifest abundance, or to face obstacles and still experience breakthroughs. It is not the circumstance that determines your outcome. It is the conviction you carry despite the circumstance. Your conviction is the seed, and the unseen realm is the soil. Your outer world is simply the harvest. If the seed is weak, confused, or inconsistent, the harvest will reflect that. But when the seed is firm, when the conviction is strong, the harvest becomes inevitable. Conviction is not loud. It does not come from forcing yourself to think positive thoughts or repeating words you don't truly feel. True conviction is a deep inner knowing, a calm assurance, a settled belief that transcends what you see. It is the inner stance that says, even if nothing around me suggests it, I know what is mine. This knowing becomes the dominant vibration of your consciousness, and the unseen realm always responds to dominance, not noise. Circumstances can be deceiving. They are merely reflections of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. They are old echoes. When you understand this, you stop letting them dictate your future. You realize that by changing your conviction, you change the very blueprint that creates your outer world. The unseen realm does not wait for conditions to improve before it begins its work. It responds the moment you shift internally, the moment you choose a new belief, the moment you step into the state of having instead of wanting. This is why you must never allow temporary appearances to shake your inner knowing. Conviction must remain steady even when your senses bring conflicting reports. The unseen realm requires faithfulness to the inner image, not loyalty to the outer situation. When you remain unmoved within, the outer must eventually move to match you. As you strengthen your conviction, you become the cause rather than the effect. You stop reacting to life and begin directing it. The unseen realm bends to the power of your belief. It arranges, orchestrates, aligns, and delivers according to your dominant assumption. Circumstances may resist at first, but they cannot overpower conviction. Your inner state always wins. Your life will not reflect what you hoped for, wished for, or waited for. It will reflect what you believed with conviction. The unseen realm is responding even now. Hold the state. Hold the vision. Hold the knowing. And watch as the outer world reshapes itself around the truth you carry within. When you live from the end, everything needed for its fulfillment finds its way to you because you have occupied the state of the desired outcome before it becomes visible. Living from the end is not pretending, forcing, or wishing. It is assuming the reality of your desire so fully that your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors naturally align with it. When you do this, you create a powerful internal atmosphere that draws the circumstances, people, and opportunities required to manifest that outcome. To live from the end means to internally inhabit the version of yourself who already has what you want. You think from that identity, feel from that identity, and see the world through the lens of someone who has already arrived. This internal shift is what sets the entire process of manifestation in motion. You no longer chase outcomes. You become the person for whom those outcomes are normal. And when you become that person, life responds accordingly. This is why things begin to flow more easily when you live from the end. Resistance dissolves because you are no longer reaching, longing, or questioning. You have stepped out of the energy of wanting and into the energy of having. And having is the state that the universe reflects. The outer world must imitate the inner. So when you dwell in the feeling of fulfillment, the world begins reshaping itself to mirror your inner world. Living from the end also sharpens your intuition. You start sensing which actions to take and which ones to ignore. You recognize the right opportunities because they feel familiar. They match the state you are already living in. People who can help you appear naturally, not by accident, but by alignment. Ideas emerge at the right moment because your mind is attuned to the frequency of your desired outcome. Even delays take on new meaning because you see them as part of a larger, perfectly timed unfolding. When you live from the end, you stop wasting energy trying to control every detail. You trust that what is needed will come to you because you are anchored in the state where it already exists. This is not passive resignation, it is powerful surrender. An inner stance that says, it's already done. From this place of completion, you move with confidence instead of desperation, clarity instead of confusion, and ease instead of effort. The world around you begins to respond to this internal certainty. The right conversations happen. Unexpected connections form. Hidden pathways reveal themselves. What once seemed impossible becomes effortless because you have aligned with the version of yourself who naturally experiences that outcome. You become a magnet for everything connected to the fulfillment of your desire. Living from the end also frees you from the emotional turbulence of waiting. You no longer look for signs or wonder when it will happen. Instead, you embody the emotional tone of the wish fulfilled now. And because your emotions are the most powerful creative force, the outer world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match them. Everything needed, every opportunity, meeting, insight, and shift finds you because your inner world has already accepted the fulfillment. You are not attracting randomly. You are aligning intentionally. You are not hoping for a future moment. You are living the reality of it now. Everything in your life is moving toward the fulfillment of what you have claimed within. The assumptions you hold, the inner knowing you stabilize, the preparation you make, the conviction you carry, and the decision to live from the end, all of it is shaping the reality that is now unfolding for you. Nothing is out of place. Nothing is working against you. Every moment, every shift, every delay, and every breakthrough is part of a divine orchestration that is aligning you with what is already yours in consciousness. Your only task now is to remain faithful to the inner truth you have accepted. Do not let appearances shake you. Do not let temporary circumstances distract you. Stand firm in the state of fulfillment and trust the unseen work that is happening on your behalf. The pieces are moving, the path is opening, the blessing is on its way, not someday, but now, because you have already received it within. Everything is coming together. Stay ready, stay aligned, stay in the knowing that what you desire is inevitable. Thank you for listening, and thank you for allowing this message to be a part of your journey. Life is always speaking, always responding, always shaping itself according to the state you occupy. Even when nothing appears to be happening, even when the outer world seems unchanged, something profound is aligning beneath the surface. Everything is coming together in ways you cannot yet see, and your only task is to stay ready, inwardly, mentally, spiritually. Readiness is not about striving, it is not about forcing or chasing. It is about assuming the end so fully that you no longer doubt its approach. When an outcome becomes natural in your imagination, life bends around that inner certainty. You begin to walk differently, think differently, and carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the promise is already fulfilled. That inner shift is the true beginning of every blessing. Many people wait for signs before they believe, but the one who understands the laws of consciousness knows signs appear after belief. The seed works underground before it breaks the soil. Your desire is no different. Its roots are forming in hidden places. Every coincidence, every delay, every closed door, every unexpected moment is orchestrating your good with precision. What looks like stillness is divine coordination. The universe does not respond to your wishes. It responds to your inner acceptance. The moment you say within yourself, "This is mine," the unseen activity begins. People move, situations shift, conversations take place without your awareness. Entire paths are rearranged just to bring you what you have already accepted as true. And while that is happening, your readiness becomes your greatest contribution. Staying ready means living as if the breakthrough is inevitable. It means refusing to entertain thoughts that contradict your desire. It means preparing the inner atmosphere so your blessing has a place to land. When you mentally dwell in the fulfillment, you magnetize the physical experience toward you, and the physical experience goes with you. Do not be fooled by outer appearances. Life is always slowest right before it changes. Nights are darkest before dawn, seeds are quiet before sprouting, and your dreams often feel most distant right before they manifest. This is the moment to remain steady. Hold the end. Walk in the feeling. Trust the invisible process that is unfolding for you. Everything truly is coming together perfectly, precisely, and in a way that will make you grateful for every step of the journey. So remain expectant, remain grounded, remain ready, because what belongs to you is making its way toward you. And the moment your inner state becomes a match, it will appear effortlessly in your world. Your inner state is the cause. Life rearranges itself to match your assumption. Everything you experience on the outside is a reflection of what you have accepted on the inside. Most people try to change their life by wrestling with circumstances, by fighting conditions, by pushing against what they do not want. But the real transformation begins not with effort, but with inner alignment. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your assumptions form the blueprint from which your reality is constructed. When you shift the inner state, the outer world must follow. Every assumption you hold carries a creative power. It may be subtle, it may be invisible, it may feel insignificant, but it shapes the path you walk. If you assume lack, life mirrors lack. If you assume delay, life offers delay. If you assume that things never work out for you, the world arranges itself to validate that belief. But the moment you assume abundance, favor, and the inevitability of good things, the world reorganizes itself to support that truth. Life is incredibly obedient to the state you dwell in. This is why inner work is not optional, it is foundational. You can take all the actions in the world, but if they are rooted in fear, doubt, or desperation, they will produce more of the same. Action cannot override assumption. It can only express it. But when your assumption is one of confidence, certainty, and fulfilled desire, even simple actions carry extraordinary results. Everything becomes amplified because your inner reality is aligned with the outcome you seek. The world you experience is not random. It is not chaotic. It is an ordered reflection of your dominant inner state. If you want to know what you have been assuming, simply look at what keeps appearing in your life. Patterns are just assumptions repeating themselves in physical form. And the moment you change the assumption, the pattern must break. You do not have to beg, force, or struggle. The state you occupy becomes the silent magnet that pulls matching experiences toward you. When you assume something with conviction, you begin to think in alignment with it. You begin to feel the emotions that belong to that reality. You begin to move through the world differently. People respond to you differently. Opportunities reveal themselves. Pathways open. Life bends around your internal decision as if it has no choice, because it doesn't. Consciousness is the only cause. An assumption is the only method by which you set consciousness in motion. This truth is liberating because it means you are never a victim of circumstance. You are never powerless. You are never at the mercy of the world. You are shaping it from within at every moment. Change your state, and the world must change with it. It cannot resist the command of your inner reality. When you choose your assumption deliberately, when you hold it, feel it, and live from it, everything around you rearranges itself to match the truth you have claimed as your own. What you prepare for reveals what you believe is on its way. Life always responds to your inner expectation, and preparation is the outward expression of that expectation. The things you choose to focus on, the steps you take, the time you devote, and the energy you invest are all reflections of what you truly accept as possible. Most people prepare unconsciously, often driven by fear, doubt, or the habits of the past. They react to circumstances rather than assume the future they desire. But those who consciously prepare do so in alignment with what they already know will come. And in doing so, they signal to themselves and the universe that the outcome is inevitable. Preparation is not about forcing the future, it is about demonstrating inner acceptance. When you act as if the result is certain, your mind, body, and environment begin to align to that reality. Every action you take becomes infused with the energy of certainty. Your thoughts become clear, your focus sharp, and your decisions guided by an unseen intelligence that knows the end is already fulfilled. In this way, preparation is a sacred bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is proof of faith in action, a tangible acknowledgement that what you desire is already on its way. What you prepare for also reveals the quality of your belief. If you prepare with hesitation, half-hearted effort, or constant worry, it shows that your assumption is weak. You may wish for abundance, success, or love, but your preparation exposes the limits of what you truly believe. Conversely, when you prepare with full expectation, you show an unshakable trust in the outcome. You act as if the end has already arrived. You organize your resources, sharpen your skills, and cultivate the environment that will support your desire. This is not striving, this is alignment. It is a demonstration of the inner reality you have assumed, a proof that your consciousness has already claimed the result. Even the smallest preparations carry immense significance. Writing down plans, creating routines, visualizing steps, or organizing your surroundings. All of these actions are signals to your subconscious that the desired outcome is not a distant possibility, but an immediate reality. The universe always mirrors this readiness. Opportunities begin to appear. People show up at the right moment. Circumstances bend in your favor. Preparation, when done from the state of already having, acts as a magnet, drawing the unseen forces into the physical world to support your assumption. What you prepare for is a direct reflection of your belief. It reveals the inner state that governs your outer experience. The outer world cannot contradict what your consciousness has accepted. It will respond to the blueprint you have created internally. Therefore, preparation is not just a practical step. It is a spiritual declaration. It is a statement of faith, a proclamation that you already occupy the reality you desire, and that the world must arrange itself to match the conviction you have expressed. Through preparation, you reveal, strengthen, and solidify the reality that is already coming to meet you. Alignment always precedes manifestation, and understanding this principle is the key to effortless creation. Nothing in the outer world can appear until it has first been established within. Every accomplishment, every blessing, every change in your life begins as an inner state before it becomes an external reality. The person who achieves, receives, or manifests is not merely taking action in the physical world, They are first existing as the person who has already received. The alignment of your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and expectations forms the invisible foundation upon which the physical outcome is built. Without this alignment, effort alone will always fall short, no matter how much energy or time is invested. To align with what you desire means to inhabit the consciousness of already having it. It is not wishing, hoping, or striving. It is living in the awareness of fulfillment. When you mentally and emotionally occupy the state of the end, your actions, reactions, and choices naturally flow from that reality. You carry yourself differently, speak differently, and think differently. Every decision is informed by the assumption that what you desire is not in the future, it is your present. This is the subtle but powerful secret. Your outer life is a reflection of the inner state you maintain. When your inner reality is complete, the outer reality must conform. Many people try to manifest through effort alone. They chase, negotiate, and struggle, believing that external work is what produces results. Yet, without inner alignment, these efforts are often scattered and ineffective. The universe cannot contradict your dominant state of consciousness. If doubt, fear, or scarcity dominate your mind, the outer world mirrors these conditions. Conversely, when you fully embody the version of yourself that has already received, the outer world cannot help but follow suit. Circumstances, people, and events begin to arrange themselves in perfect harmony with your inner reality. Opportunities appear effortlessly, doors open, and synchronicities multiply, all because you have become the person who naturally attracts that reality. Becoming the version of you who already has it is not a temporary exercise. It is a sustained inner commitment. It requires attention, practice, and faith. Every thought, feeling, and perception must be aligned with the truth of fulfillment. You must refuse to entertain the reality of lack or limitation. You must cultivate the emotions, the confidence, and the perspective of someone who is already living the life you desire. In doing so, you are not creating from nothing. You are unveiling what already exists in the unseen, allowing it to manifest in the tangible world. Alignment is the precursor to manifestation because the universe responds to consciousness, not to effort alone. When you live as the person who has already received, you become a beacon that draws your desires into form. This is why the wise focus first on inner transformation, knowing that every external expression is born of inner state. To manifest effortlessly, to create with certainty, you must first align fully with the reality you wish to see. Embody it, feel it, live it, and the universe will move to make it visible. Delays are not denials, they are adjustments, preparing the perfect moment. One of the greatest misunderstandings in life is believing that when something we desire does not appear immediately, it has been withheld from us. In reality, the universe is always orchestrating events with precision, timing, and intelligence beyond our comprehension. What may feel like a setback, a pause, or an obstacle is often the silent work of forces, arranging circumstances to ensure that the manifestation of your desire occurs in its most perfect form. Delay is not opposition. It is preparation. When you trust in the unseen and recognize the wisdom behind timing, you begin to see delays differently. They are not signs of failure, they are proof that the desired outcome is being meticulously aligned. The outer world often moves slower than the mind expects, but this slowness is never wasted. Every delay allows for the subtle adjustments, the unseen refinements, and the unfolding of conditions that must be in place for the manifestation to be complete. Life is always moving toward your good, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Each pause, each moment of waiting, is an opportunity to strengthen your alignment, clarify your vision, and refine your inner state. Delays serve another purpose. They reveal the depth of your belief. When desires do not manifest immediately, your faith and assumptions are tested. If you become impatient, doubtful, or fearful, you are unconsciously signaling that you are not yet in alignment with the reality you seek. On the other hand, when you remain calm, confident, and expectant, you demonstrate inner readiness. This readiness is the magnet that draws the circumstances into harmony with your desire. The universe does not respond to time, it responds to the state you occupy. Patience is not passive, it is active faith in the unseen process. An acknowledgement that what you desire is already on its way and will appear at precisely the right moment. Every delay also allows for better preparation on a practical level. Opportunities, people, and resources often emerge gradually, and their timing must align with your readiness to receive. Sometimes, an early manifestation may not have yielded the best outcome or the highest benefit. Delays ensure that the conditions are perfect, that the timing is ideal, and that the experience itself is maximized for your growth, joy, and satisfaction. In this way, what seems like waiting is actually the invisible hand of intelligence, shaping the circumstances for the most extraordinary result. Understanding that delays are not denials transforms your perspective. You begin to trust the process, embrace the pause, and align your thoughts and emotions with the inevitability of fulfillment. Every moment of apparent waiting becomes a chance to deepen your inner state, strengthen your assumptions, and live in the certainty of what is already yours. The universe never hurries, yet nothing is ever lost. The delay is always purposeful, always strategic, and always leading to the perfect moment when your desire will appear fully and flawlessly. Patience and readiness are your allies. Trust and alignment are your guides. When you embrace this truth, you realize that delay is not a wall to stop you, but a bridge, preparing the way for your ultimate victory. The unseen is more powerful than the seen. And trusting what you have accepted within is the secret to true creation. Everything that exists in the physical world first originates in the invisible realm. Thoughts, beliefs, assumptions, and imaginings are the unseen forces that shape reality, long before they appear as tangible outcomes. Yet, most people place their faith in the external world, believing that what they see is the ultimate truth. This is why so many struggle, for the visible world is merely a reflection of the invisible, not the source of creation. To master life, you must learn to trust what has already taken root in your imagination and inner consciousness. When you accept a desire as fulfilled within, it is already operating in the realm of the unseen. Your belief, your feeling, and your assumption are like seeds planted in fertile soil. The growth is invisible at first, yet inevitable. It is not necessary to see immediate evidence because the unseen is far more potent than any visible circumstance. The moment you feel, believe, and assume something as true, the laws of life respond. Your inner acceptance sets into motion the chain of events that will inevitably bring your desire into the external world. What you hold within is stronger than any obstacle, limitation, or doubt that appears on the outside. Trusting the unseen requires a deep inner conviction. It requires living from a state of completion rather than lack. When you accept that what you desire already exists within your consciousness, you no longer rely on outside confirmation. You no longer chase after signs, explanations, or guarantees. The unseen operates with perfect precision, and it always fulfills the inner assumption. Patience, faith, and alignment are the instruments through which this power manifests. By trusting what you have accepted internally, you allow the unseen forces to work unhindered, to orchestrate circumstances, guide people, and arrange events in perfect harmony with your inner reality. The visible world often appears unpredictable, chaotic, or contradictory, and this can tempt you to doubt the power of the unseen. But appearances are deceptive. Outer conditions are temporary and mutable, constantly shifting like clouds in the sky. The inner state, once firmly assumed, is constant and unshakable. It acts as a magnetic field, drawing to you the people, opportunities, and experiences that correspond to your acceptance. The unseen does not move at the pace of the world, it moves at the pace of belief. It is silent, unseen, yet infinitely more potent than any external circumstance. By trusting what you have accepted within, you step into the true creative role in your life. You become the architect of your reality, no longer a passive observer or victim of conditions. You understand that every outer event is a reflection of your inner state, and that by mastering the unseen, you master the seen. Every assumption you hold, every feeling you nurture, and every inner conviction you embrace sets into motion a force that shapes the physical world. The unseen is the blueprint, the invisible hand guiding reality. Trust it, live from it, and you will witness the miraculous power of life, responding to the truth you have claimed within yourself. When everything looks still, the shift is happening behind the scenes. Stay ready. Life has a way of moving in silence long before anything becomes visible. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is not unfolding. The greatest changes often occur in phases that feel quiet, slow, or uneventful. These moments test your patience, your faith, and your ability to maintain the inner state of already having what you desire. But beneath the surface, beyond your senses, forces are rearranging circumstances to align in your favor. The stillness is deceptive. It is the space where the invisible becomes inevitable. Every meaningful transformation begins in the unseen. Think of a seed buried in the soil. For a long time, nothing appears to be happening. No sprouts, no leaves, no signs of growth. Yet inside that seed, life is forming. Roots are extending and structure is developing. If you judge the process by appearances, you would believe nothing was working. But nature operates in hidden ways, and so does your destiny. When nothing is moving externally, everything is preparing internally. Life is creating openings, merging paths, shifting people, and aligning opportunities. What feels like stagnation is actually divine preparation. This stillness requires a particular kind of readiness, not anxious readiness, not frantic preparation, but calm expectation. It is the readiness of someone who knows the promise is maturing invisibly, the readiness of someone who understands that silence is not abandonment, but orchestration. When you remain ready during these quiet phases, you keep your inner state aligned with the outcome. You do not collapse into doubt or impatience. You do not let circumstances dictate your belief. Instead, you hold the feeling of fulfillment, trusting that the unseen is working more powerfully than the seen. Staying ready also means maintaining the mental environment where your desire can manifest. It means refusing to contradict your vision with thoughts of lack, delay, or impossibility. It means responding to the stillness with faith rather than fear. When you stay ready, you prepare your inner and outer world for what is coming. You sharpen your mindset, strengthen your conviction, and embody the version of yourself who already has the blessing. You become a match to the manifestation long before it arrives, ensuring that when it comes, you are prepared to receive it fully. The truth is, life rarely announces when a breakthrough is approaching. It often comes disguised in silence. The shift happens backstage, hidden from view until suddenly everything unfolds at once. Doors open, opportunities appear, and what once felt delayed arrives with astonishing speed. But this rapid manifestation is always preceded by a period of quiet internal realignment. If you mistake that silence for failure, you interrupt the process. But if you honor the stillness, you accelerate the unfolding. So stay ready, stay centered, stay aligned. Trust the hidden movements that are shaping your future. When everything looks still, remember that the shift is already happening behind the scenes. Life is rearranging itself to meet the truth you have accepted within. Your readiness is your signal to the universe. I am prepared. I am aligned. I am expecting the best. And when you hold that state, the breakthrough becomes unavoidable. In conclusion, everything you desire is already aligning in the unseen, quietly arranging itself to match the state you occupy within. Your inner assumptions, your preparations, your alignment, your patience, and your trust are the forces that shape reality even before it becomes visible. Delays are not denials. The unseen is more powerful than the seen, and readiness is your key to receiving. When you live from the feeling of fulfillment, when you embody the version of yourself who already has what you seek, the universe cannot help but respond. Life is always working in your favor, even when it appears still, and the moment of your manifestation is closer than you realize. Thank you for taking this time to listen, reflect, and align yourself with the truth of your own power. Stay ready, stay faithful, and watch as everything comes together for you. There comes a point in every journey when it seems like nothing is working. You've prayed, believed, visualized, and still no sign. But listen carefully. Everything is coming together for you, even now. The delays, detours, and disappointments are not denials. They are divine rearrangements. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. In the unseen realm, forces are moving, threads are weaving, and pathways are forming in your favor. The universe is orchestrating a symphony you cannot yet hear. Just because your physical eyes see no change does not mean nothing is happening. What you cannot see is often more powerful than what you can. There is a sacred law. What you hold in your inner world must eventually manifest in your outer one. The seed planted in faith cannot die. It must grow when nurtured by persistence. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. Every image you hold in your mind with feeling and belief is forming substance in the invisible. When you imagine yourself already successful, already healed, already at peace, something within you shifts. That shift is not make-believe. It is creation in motion. You become magnetized to that reality, and that reality becomes magnetized to you. The unseen begins to shape itself into form. Do not be deceived by appearances. Many give up because they believe the silence means rejection. But the silence is not rejection, it's preparation. The universe takes time to align every detail so that when the blessing comes, it fits perfectly, effortlessly. Your role is not to rush it, but to remain faithful to your inner conviction. When everything seems darkest, when doubt whispers that it's useless to go on, that's the moment to stand firm, because the night always turns into morning, and you are closer than you think. The energy of faith is cumulative. Every act of belief adds momentum to your unfolding miracle. Keep affirming. It's already done. My path is clear. Everything is coming together for my good. Speak it, even when nothing supports it. Feel it, even when you see no sign of it, because your feeling is the evidence of the unseen. Remember this, it's easy to believe when things look good, but true power is believing when nothing looks possible. That's when creation happens. That's when the invisible becomes visible. That's when you prove the divine power within you. So, don't give up. Don't surrender your vision to temporary conditions. The waiting is not wasted. It's the womb of your next miracle. Keep imagining, keep believing, keep moving forward with quiet confidence. Because one day soon you'll look back and realize every delay, every tear, every test was necessary to bring you here, to the fulfillment of everything you once imagined. Everything is coming together for you. Don't give up, just keep going. Everything begins in the unseen. Long before a flower blooms, the seed rests quietly beneath the surface, hidden from sight, yet filled with purpose. The same is true for your desires. What you long for, peace, success, healing, love, abundance, already exists in the invisible realm, waiting for you to recognize it as yours. The moment you believe and feel it as real within, you activate the divine power that transforms the unseen into the seen. Nothing ever appears in your outer life that was not first accepted in your inner world. You may not realize it, but every thought, every feeling, every assumption you hold is creative. The mind is not a passive observer. It is a spiritual workshop where reality is shaped. When you close your eyes and imagine a life of fulfillment, and when that vision feels natural to you, you are doing the most powerful work there is. You are not daydreaming. You are constructing. You are setting in motion an unseen chain of events that will ultimately rearrange circumstances to match what you have already accepted within. The invisible realm is more real than the visible, for it is the source from which all things arise. Every great invention, every piece of art, every world-changing idea began first as an image in the unseen. The same divine process works in your life. When you choose to believe that your desire already exists, when you feel the joy of its fulfillment in your heart, you are aligning yourself, the energy of creation itself. The outer world cannot resist this alignment for long. It must eventually reflect what you persistently hold as true. The key is faith, not as blind hope, but as inner knowing. Faith is the quiet confidence that even though you cannot yet see it, the reality you've claimed is already complete in spirit. You don't need to strive or struggle. You only need to remain faithful to that inner picture. The more you revisit it, feel it, and dwell in it, the stronger its pull becomes. Life begins to rearrange itself. People appear, opportunities arise, and doors open seemingly by coincidence. But nothing is accidental. You have called it forth by the creative power of your belief. Never be deceived by appearances. The invisible comes first, and the visible merely follows. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process. Likewise, trust that your unseen creation is unfolding perfectly. Hold to the feeling of already having it, and your faith will translate the unseen into form. You are not waiting for creation to happen, you are living within it now. Every fulfilled desire begins as an inner conviction. When you believe and feel as though it is already yours, the universe cannot help but mirror that truth back to you. What you desire is not far away. It is already formed, awaiting your recognition. Creation begins in the invisible, and once you accept that, you become the conscious author of your destiny. Delay is never denial. What looks like nothing happening is often everything happening behind the scenes. Life has its own rhythm, a divine timing that cannot be rushed or delayed. When you feel stuck or uncertain, when doors seem closed or paths unclear, understand that you are not being punished, you are being prepared. What feels like a pause is really a process. The universe is rearranging people, events, and circumstances to align perfectly with the outcome you've envisioned. Every dream has a gestation period. Just as nature requires time to turn a seed into a tree, your desires need time to take root and mature. You cannot force a flower to bloom before its season, and you cannot rush divine timing. When you believe something isn't working because you cannot see movement, you misunderstand how creation operates. The invisible work must always come first. The delay is a sacred part of the unfolding. It ensures that when your desire manifests, it will arrive in wholeness, not in fragments. When you begin to live from faith instead of frustration, you start to see the beauty of divine timing. What looks like stagnation is often alignment, pieces being placed in the right order, opportunities being prepared, and people being guided to cross your path. The universe operates with precision. Nothing is random. The timing that seems late is often the timing that saves you from mistakes, teaches you deeper trust, and prepares you to handle the blessing when it arrives. If everything came instantly, you would never develop patience, wisdom, or gratitude. The waiting season refines you. It strengthens your faith and clears away resistance. Many times the universe delays what you ask for because it wants to give you more than what you imagined. While you think nothing is happening, everything is being arranged for your ultimate good. The very obstacles that seem to stand in your way are often guiding you toward a greater path than the one you originally planned. You must learn to trust the divine sequence. When your heart says yes, but life says wait, hold on to your vision. Keep your inner faith alive, even when the outer world gives you no evidence. The moment you begin to doubt, remind yourself, what's meant for you cannot miss you. Every delay carries divine intelligence. It's not the universe saying no, it's saying not yet. And when not yet becomes now, it will make perfect sense. Do not measure progress by sight alone. The unseen alignment is working with precision beyond your understanding. The job, the opportunity, the relationship, the dream, it's all in motion, moving toward you even as you wait. You are not forgotten. You are being positioned. Keep believing, keep trusting, and keep preparing as though it's already done. Because one day the doors will open effortlessly, and you'll realize that every delay was a setup for perfect timing. The universe never denies. Persistence is the invisible bridge that connects what you desire to what you eventually experience. Every dream, every goal, every manifestation passes through the corridor of persistence before it becomes reality. Many begin with passion and enthusiasm, but only those who persist, those who hold a vision in the face of delay, doubt, and disappointment, reach the fulfillment of what they imagine. The journey between desire and manifestation is not about struggle, but about steadfast faith. It is about standing firm in your inner conviction, even when the outer world gives you no reason to believe. When you persist in faith, you declare that your inner reality is more powerful than external circumstances. You may not yet see the results, but you continue to feel and live as though the promise is already fulfilled. That unwavering state of belief creates a magnetic force that draws your vision into form. The universe responds not to fleeting wishes, but to consistent conviction. Persistence tells creation, I already know this is mine, and the unseen forces align accordingly. Most people give up not because their dream was impossible, but because they surrendered to appearances. They look at the lack, the delay, the difficulty, and assume it means failure. But appearances are only the temporary shadows of your old thoughts. When you persist in a new state of belief long enough, those shadows dissolve and a new reality emerges. Every great creator understands this. What you assume to be true and persist in as though it were already done must harden into fact. Persistence is not forcing or begging. It is quiet confidence. It is the calm assurance that comes from knowing the law of creation cannot fail. You may fall, you may grow weary, but you return to the feeling of fulfillment again and again until it becomes natural. You persist in thought until it becomes your automatic state. And once the mind accepts it as normal, life reflects it as fact. Every obstacle you face tests your persistence. Every delay whispers, do you still believe? And your answer must always be yes. Keep imagining. Keep affirming. Keep walking by faith and not by sight. The universe rewards those who refuse to let temporary appearances dictate their truths. The more you persist, the more powerful your belief becomes, and the stronger the bridge between desire and manifestation grows. Persistence is not about time. It's about depth. It's about how deeply you've accepted your vision as already real. The person who persists without wavering steps directly into the reality they once imagined. So do not be discouraged by how long it takes. Stay faithful to your inner vision, because once your inner world is consistent, the outer must conform. Those who persist in faith, regardless of appearances, always walk straight into the world they've imagined. Assume the feeling of fulfillment, and you begin to live from the end rather than toward it. To assume is to accept inwardly that what you desire is already yours, that it has already happened in the unseen realm. This is not pretending or wishful thinking. It is a shift in consciousness. The moment you feel the reality of your desire, you awaken the creative power within that draws circumstances, people, and opportunities into harmony with that state. Your inner world becomes the blueprint that the outer world must eventually follow. Most people live in a constant state of wanting. They speak, think, and feel from lack, hoping for change, but never assuming the change has already occurred. Yet the law of creation works through assumption. What you feel yourself to be determines what you will experience. If you feel poor, you continue to attract lack. If you feel unloved, you continue to attract rejection. But the instant you assume the feeling of already having your desire, wealth, love, success, peace, you activate the unseen forces that transform your world to match that vibration. Feeling is the secret key. Words alone do not create, emotion does. When your imagination and feeling become one, you move creation from potential to reality. Close your eyes and live inwardly as though your dream were already fulfilled. Feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude of it is done. Dwell in that emotion until it feels natural, until you no longer crave it because you have already become it in consciousness. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to states of being. When you assume the feeling of fulfillment, you are no longer chasing your desire, you are radiating it. The world reflects back what you are, not what you wish for. Every time you return to that inner state, you strengthen its magnetic pull. Outer circumstances begin to shift subtly at first, then dramatically, as everything reorganizes itself to match the frequency you are emitting. What once seemed impossible begins to flow effortlessly, because your assumption has become your reality. Doubt will try to invade your mind. Appearances will tempt you to revert to old feelings of lack or worry. But the key is persistence in your assumption. Return to the feeling of fulfillment again and again until it dominates your awareness. Even if nothing seems to change, keep living from the end. The unseen realm responds to consistency. Your sustained assumption becomes the command that the universe must obey. This is the art of conscious creation. To dwell in the state of already having, to feel the victory before the battle, to embody the answered prayer before it appears. Once your inner world accepts it as truth, your outer world cannot resist reflecting it. Live inwardly as though the dream has already come true, and soon what was once invisible will stand before you as undeniable reality. The middle is the hardest, but also the holiest. It's the space between believing and receiving, the stretch between the promise and its fulfillment. It's where doubt whispers loudest, where patience is tested, and where faith must stand alone. Yet even though it feels like nothing is happening, everything is happening. The invisible construction site of your destiny is alive and active, arranging every piece of your future with divine precision. You cannot yet see the blueprint, but heaven is building in silence. The middle feels hard because it asks you to trust without proof. It asks you to walk by faith when sight gives you no encouragement. This is where many give up, not because the dream was impossible, but because the silence convinced them it was over. But silence is not absence. Stillness is not stagnation. When life seems quiet and motionless, it's often when divine movement is at its peak. The unseen world is busy aligning every detail, every person, and every opportunity required for your manifestation. In this sacred in-between, your inner state matters most. You are being refined, strengthened, and prepared for what you've asked for. The middle is not punishment, it's preparation. You're being molded into the version of yourself capable of holding the blessing. What you call delay is actually transformation. The universe is making sure that when the door opens, you're ready to walk through it with wisdom, gratitude, and strength. Every masterpiece requires time to take form. The builder doesn't panic when the foundation is being laid, even though there's nothing beautiful to see yet. The same is true for your life. The groundwork of your destiny is being set beneath the surface. The waiting season is where your faith becomes real. It's where belief evolves from theory to truth. The middle teaches you how to stand on unseen ground and trust that what you planted in faith will bloom in divine timing. In these moments, resist the urge to complain or despair. Instead, become still and remind yourself something sacred is happening behind the scenes. Your prayers were heard the first time you spoke them. The answer is unfolding in ways you cannot yet comprehend. Every silence is filled with divine activity. Every pause has purpose. So hold steady. Keep your heart fixed on the vision even when nothing seems to support it. Keep speaking life, keep imagining, keep thanking as if it were already done. The middle may feel like the hardest part of the journey, but it's also the holiest. It's where faith matures, where patience deepens, and where you are quietly shaped into the vessel that can carry your miracle. One day, you look back and realize that the middle wasn't a delay, it was the place where the invisible became visible. Your faith is the architect of your reality. Every thought you hold as true, every belief you nurture within, becomes a line drawn on the blueprint of your life. Faith is the silent designer behind every visible outcome. It builds, shapes, and constructs the world you live in, brick by brick, moment by moment. You may not realize it, but your outer world is always mirroring your inner conviction. What you accept as true, whether good or bad, becomes your experience. Life does not respond to chance, it responds to belief. Faith is not something you try to have, it's something you embody. It is the unwavering trust that what you have envisioned is already complete, even before your senses can confirm it. When you believe deeply enough, the unseen begins to solidify into form. Every time you choose faith over fear, you rewrite your destiny. Fear builds walls, but faith builds bridges. Fear limits, faith expands. Fear sees lack, faith sees completion. And the one you entertain the longest becomes the foundation of your reality. When you believe that you are guided, provided for, and supported by divine intelligence, life starts to move in harmony with that truth. Opportunities appear, people arrive, and doors open, not because of luck, but because your faith created the pathway for them. The moment you accept something as true within, you instruct the universe to rearrange itself to make it visible without. You become the architect and the builder of your own destiny. There will always be moments when appearances contradict your belief. You may face delays, setbacks, or silence. But that's where true faith is tested and strengthened. Faith does not depend on sight. It thrives in the unseen. It remains steady when the evidence says otherwise. To keep believing in the face of doubt is to hold the line of creation. It is to say, I know what I have accepted as true, and I will not be moved. That persistence in conviction bends reality to your will. You must understand that life mirrors your inner dialogue. If you constantly affirm fear, limitation, or defeat, you draw more of the same. But if you affirm victory, abundance, and peace, even when circumstances deny it, you are sketching a new design for your life. Every act of belief, every moment of inner certainty adds another stroke to the divine blueprint. Eventually, what you've drawn in faith will be built in experience. Eventually, what you've drawn in faith will be built in experience. So guard your thoughts and nurture your belief. Choose to see beyond appearances. Keep believing, even when logic fails you. The unseen is always stronger than the seen, and faith will always outlast fear. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the architect of them. Stand firm in your conviction, knowing that what you believe becomes what you build. Faith is the hand that drafts the plan, and life itself is the structure that rises to match it. In the end, everything you've ever desired, prayed for, or imagined is already in motion. The unseen world is working tirelessly on your behalf, aligning every detail to fulfill the vision you've held within. Every delay has purpose. Every challenge refines you, and every silent season builds your strength. Nothing has been wasted. The dream you've been nurturing in faith is not in vain. It's being constructed in the invisible, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. So keep believing, keep imagining, and keep moving forward with quiet confidence. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. Creation began the moment you believed, and it continues to unfold through your persistence and unwavering faith. The universe responds to conviction, not confusion, to faith, not fear. Walk as though it's already done, speak as though it's already yours, feel as though it's already complete, because in truth, it is. The bridge between where you are and where you're going is built on trust. And as you hold fast to that faith, life will mirror your belief with beauty, abundance, and divine perfection. Everything is coming together for you. Stay patient, stay faithful, and never give up, because what's meant for you cannot miss you. Thank you for listening, and remember, your faith is the key. Your imagination is the blueprint, and your persistence is the power that makes all things possible. Keep going. Your miracle is already on its way.